Hello, America. This is Mr. Citizen Patriot. I finally have made it here to Washington, D.C. I've been around for 17 years, born in Los Angeles in 2003. My role is to bring patriotism to a higher level in our country. My role is to wear this uniform for the sake of the men and women who wore their uniforms to be shot at, that I may be free. I didn't go to be shot at, but the least that I can do for those men and women who gave their lives for me is to wear this uniform to remind the world who they are and what they've done. And I've come also to raise the spirit of patriotism in our country, to come together, whether you're on the political right or left, it doesn't matter right now. We as a nation must come together, and what better person to help bring the nation together than a person like Mr. Citizen Patriot. And for more information on Mr. Patriot and how to get in touch with me and participate in this new awakening of American patriotism, go to mrpatriot.us. Get involved with this new American patriotism that we're bringing to you today.
Unmute yourself.
Bad. I'm sorry. I muted myself. My apologies, folks. Let me start all over. Hello, shalom. This is Ted Hayes, a.k.a. Mr. Patriot, the guy you just saw right there talking about the unification of America. And this is our Your Power Weapon on Urban Smart Network. This is, I believe, our 25th episode tonight. We're here every Monday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Coast time and 10 o'clock p.m. East Coast time. Don't forget to go like us. Make sure you get us to all of your social media friends and your families. Let them know about Your Power Weapon. By the way, that word weapon is in quotations because I don't want anybody out there like NSA or whoever is watching us clandestinely to think that I am promoting some sort of a violence here. I'm talking about the weapon of your mind and the knowledge that you put within that mind of yours and how you make it happen. Tonight, we have, this is, by the way, Monday, January 31st, the last day of the month of January. Guess what's next, y'all? Tomorrow, does anybody know what's next? Raise your hand if you know what's next. Yeah, that's right. Black History Month. A whole month is dedicated to us, y'all. I hope this particular month we do some very serious thinking about who we are, because we just missed January the 1st. Do y'all know what January the 1st is? New Year's Day? Nah, not for us. January the 1st, descendants of the chattel slaves and Jim Crow survivors, is the Emancipation Proclamation signed by Abraham Lincoln as an executive order on January the 1st, 1863. This particular date is the most important date to us as a people in this land. This particular date is greater than Juneteenth. And I'm going to work over this next year through Your Power Weapon to create a campaign whereby next year, January the 1st, will become a national, not holiday, but a national day of recognition as to who we, United States Black citizens, are in this United States of America. So we're going to be working on that. But anyway, February the 1st is Black History Month. Tonight, we are going to deal with a very special subject having to do with the weapon of your mind, how you think and how you process your thoughts and how you manifest them in your body, in your family, and in your social environment, and particularly within this country. We're going to talk about something very controversial called school choice. Have y'all heard about school choice? I mean, it is blowing up. In fact, it's really catching on, apparently, among us Black U.S. citizens. We have a real issue, and I got some people on tonight and you know what they are. They my regular contributors. I love these cats, and I'm very honored that they will come back again tonight to specifically discuss this matter of school choice, because each one of them are a very active activist in this matter of school choice. And I just want to say something to you as we delve into this, because I got a problem. Nah, no, excuse me. I take that back. I don't have a problem. Y'all got a problem around this matter of school choice. And I'm when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, right on. Now I'm like, wait, after giving some thought, the mind, okay, the weapons of our mind. Am I just parroting something I heard somebody say? Is this a political position as opposed to the people on the other side? Or is this really a valid issue that I should support or at least be aware of? And I want you to know something, this matter of school choice. I grew up in Jim Crow, Alabama, and Jim Crow, Maryland. And I was segregated from public schools where white students went, okay, because of who they thought that I was as an American citizen. And when I was in the sixth grade at an all black school called Havre Grace Consolidated in Harford County, Maryland, and if y'all in Aberdeen, Edgewood, and Bel Air and Havre Grace, if y'all know what I'm talking about, Havre Grace, we had a consolidated all black school. In the sixth grade, my mama took me out of that school because I was not getting the quality education that I should be getting. So in 1962, September 1963, rather, my mother and father took me out of the all black school and integrated me into the white school of Aberdeen High School. This is before the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed that created the integration movement. My mama broke that right away, and my grades automatically went up. So I understand people having to choose or being allowed to choose where they go. Because I was actually bussed out of my neighborhood way across town to an all black school when I had a school almost doggone near a block away from me. So I understand that, and I am empathetic to that. So I just want to let you know that as we go in this direction, how I generally feel. I would like for each one of my guests to come on just for a second, so the audience can get a look at your face and just say hello, how you doing? I'm so and so, so and so. I'll start with Anita Rhodes. You hear Anita? There she is. You need the mic up.
There we
Yeah.
are. Okay,
There
here.
you go. I did the same thing.
Hello, Ted. Hello, everybody.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
It's
I
good.
love that hair. That's
Thank you.
nice. Good to
I
see
like
you.
yours
Yes, ma'am.
too. Yours
There
is
you
good.
go.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And also we have on the broadcast tonight, part of the podcast rather tonight, is Miss Ashley. Miss Ashley,
Good afternoon or good evening. This is Miss Ashley, and I'm a school choice advisor here in Southern California.
very good. And of course, we got that cat from South Side Chicago, the one and only Ken White, the unicorn.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, Ted, I got my Charmin in my pants because I understand you say you're going to whoop some butt tonight trying to explain to us why we shouldn't be supporting school choice. So I just can't wait to hear what you got to say, brother. Hey, everybody.
I got my licking stick. Okay. got my ride. Okay. Hey, and my co-host, I've known this cat for so many years, man. He and I go back to Abraham Lincoln. I want to bring Keith Hardeen, my co-host. Keith, what's happening, brother?
Hey, everybody. I am an advocate for school choice. I love it. Love the idea. So good to hear. Good to hear from everybody.
My gosh, I feel like Bruce Lee getting ready to take on a gang of kung fu fighters here. Keith, I'm going to stay with you for a quick minute here. Um, I want to stay with you for a quick minute. Keith, we had a conversation today. This is a little bit off topic, not quite all the way, because it still has to do with education. You were going off about what's happening out here in LA, actually Inglewood, at the new $5 billion sports stadium in Inglewood in the black neighborhood. And you was talking about the homeless as it relates to that show, and other issues. Talk to us, Keith. What were you fussing at me about today?
Well, I had some reservations here. I mean, I'm looking at the media. The media talk about what they want to talk about. They don't say anything about any good that Trump is doing, but they will mention something that they want to talk about. So the narrative is always it's always basically framed by the liberal press. So anyway, all over the media, all over the news, it's the just as they did in the Olympics in '84 when it was in Los Angeles. They were moving the homeless people out of the area surrounding the Forum in Inglewood, and that's all the way from the airport all the way to the Forum in Inglewood, where the Forum is. So now this is that new stadium, which again, like you said, $5.5 billion with a B, not with a million, but $1 billion that they erected. And I just find that to be, I don't know, for a game, a ball game, and I don't know how many sport games they'll be playing every year. But anyway, for the Olympics, I'm sorry, for the Super Bowl, they are moving these people out. And they claim that they're doing it because of the hazard of fires. That's what the city is claiming.
Well, Keith, I've been here for 37 years. I'm the nation's foremost homeless activist here in the National Capital of Homelessness of America. And I have seen this time and time and again. Whenever they wanted the government servants want to do something special, money-making venture or power gain or something, they always send in the police to what we call sweep the homeless away. They did it not only in 1984 with the Olympics, but when the Pope came here in 1987, they swept the homeless away from where he was staying at St. Vibiar's Cathedral in Skid Row. Of course, I protested that. I ended up going to jail. The feds had to arrest me for that. And they typically do that. And you're right. It's really a travesty. And what gets me, the majority of the people are homeless here in Inglewood are black folks, man, black citizens, American Africans, and all these great famous football players and basketball players and celebrities. The world is gonna be there, and these folks push black homeless people away. They're gonna let it happen, and they wonder why God sent me. Hey, Unicorn, you say God sent you? No wonder why God sent me too. Folks, thank you, Keith, for sharing that. This is Ted Hayes, aka Mr. Patriot, on your power weapon and quotes on urbansmartnetwork.com. Before we go, one shout out to the newcomer to Urban Smart Network. I heard him, I listened to him tonight. Truth. I think it's Truth. Truth. Shoot, I misplaced it. Anyway. He's a good brother. He was on earlier tonight before I was on, and I'll come up with his name later. In the meantime, let's get right to this school choice business. And Keith, you mentioned something about conservatives and liberals. Hey, Smoke, would you quickly run that little video so it kind of set the atmosphere for this conversation, please? Something I did about 3 years ago. I want to make something very clear about homelessness, and particularly about systemic racism as the reason for why there are so many black homeless people in America today, mainly in the urban centers of our country. There's a lot of talk now about the policies of the Democrats, who basically have run the cities of America for quite a while, where most black folks are, that their policies, their liberal policies, that are the root cause for why we have homelessness and, of course, black homelessness. And there's a lot of truth to that, and historical truth to that. But on the other hand, too, my question is, where have the conservatives and the Republicans been on this issue of homelessness? You don't see it in their policies, at least with the Democrats and liberals. They talk about in their policies where they agree and disagree, whereas you don't see that anywhere written among the conservatives and the Republican policy. So it's easy, I presume, for us to point the finger at the obvious, like pointing the finger at the police because they have on a uniform. It's easy to point at the obvious, but what about us? Those of us who say that you're conservative, do you have a role? I say, as Ted Hayes, yes, you do have a role in this. In fact, you may have a greater role because you say you see what they don't see. So Basically, what I'm trying to say, folks, is this. It's time in America that we stop pointing the fingers at each other. Democrat, conservative, liberal, whatever. We got to stop that and realize that God has given us and allowed us a human crises in our country, that he wants us to use our God blessedness, the Yankee ingenuity that we all have, to rectify this thing so that we can help the rest of the world be God blessed too. So that's all I'm trying to say, is there's enough guilt to go around in this, or enough responsibility to go around. Okay, let's everybody take our responsibility and let's make America truly great again. Okay. Something like that. That's my boy. Yeah. That's what I've been seeing a lot of coming from the conservative right and the Republicans and the so-called patriots. They are very keen at pointing the fingers at the evil socialist policies that has inundated our schools and our society, and they rail on them for the issues, the crises in the black communities, because it's Democrats and black Democrats, liberals who run these cities. And my question has been, while the conservatives may be right in what they've identified, they tend to seem to want to smugly excuse themselves from their responsibility. Because all those who say, well, schools are really screwed up, man, the socialists taking over, we need to get our kids out of school, put them in private schools where we teach them where we want to teach them, the conservative values, the God-believing, all those things we say we want to teach them in patriotism. Well, what happened, y'all? Talk to me, somebody. Why are you supporting? Well, we'll start with Miss Ashley, because Miss Ashley is from what I'm hearing, is one of the leading activists for school choice here in California, Southern California particularly. Correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Ashley, but Miss Ashley, talk to us, please.
Anita had her hand up first, so I'll let her go first if she'd like that.
Okay. Ms. Rhodes?
Now, with respect, Ted, I think I have the answer.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to answer it with a couple questions. If the people who are homeless on the streets, if they're adults, then the kind of country America is we were built on self-sufficiency. That's the structure of our country. Even Black people, when we were released from slavery, we learned to take care of ourselves. We prospered, we flourished, we thrived. Now, if the homeless is comprised of a lot of children, then society is responsible to care for its children. So if we're looking at adults, and if some of them are mentally ill, then we care for the poor, the wretched. Okay? If these are people who are choosing a lifestyle of homelessness and then point to other people to meet their needs, wholly unacceptable. It is immoral. It is unkind. It's unloving to say, oh, you're homeless. You can't help yourself. Somebody must take care of you as an adult man, adult woman. No. Black people are capable of taking care of themselves, men and women. And anyone that enables that victimhood, that helplessness, is not helping the Black man, Black woman. So I do hold Democrat policies responsible for that. I didn't grow up in Jim Crow South, but I grew up in the Great Society. When they separated families, parents took the fathers out of the home, made the men irresponsible, made the women head of household, married to the government. Now, unless you're of the mind where you think the government and society should take care of adults who are irresponsible, perhaps not of their own doing, I think you want socialism, because that's what government does, and that's what socialism is. But however, if you want to see Black people rise up and flourish, get off of rise up, get jobs, get educated, because everybody knows, even Barack Obama tells us that Black people who are educated or have babies, if they have children out when they're in high school, undereducated, they're going to be in poverty, drug addiction, all of that. So education is the key to Black people getting out of the gutter, out of homelessness. And we don't need to look to the white man. or the Mexican men, or I'm almost finished. Anyone else to care for us. My point. Thank you.
Very good point. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And at some point down the road, a couple of weeks ago, we did a podcast specifically on homelessness, and I'm pretty sure we're going to do that again real soon. And we want to focus on that. But you mentioned something about education. You're so right about that. When you don't have a proper education, then you're bound to get deceived and manhandled. And this is why Dwight David Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, 1954, when he and Chief Justice Warren pushed through the Brown versus Board of Education, the Supreme Court decision, to ensure that the descendants of chattel slave student children get the same kind of opportunity at literacy as white students. That would be Section 1 of the Civil Rights Act of 1866. However, we didn't get that education. And Miss Ashley, why did we get that education? That literacy?
So I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about this, and it may or may not answer your question. But I don't know what Jim Crow South you grew up in. I grew up in Jim Crow South in Louisiana. And I'm so glad you went somewhere where your mom was able to have choices to take you to another school. We had no choices.
Yes, ma'am.
My dad was in the service. We lived on a military base. And inside the military base, we have all kind of kids were together. We got ready to go to school. The white kids went to their nice appointed school around the corner. We got in this big raggedy school bus. We went across a river, across the railroad tracks to the other side of town, our school.
Same here.
Guess what? We were very well educated. Black people knew when they came here, when they first came here, that education was going to be the key success. We were tortured. We lost limbs. We lost eyes, everything to try to be educated and learn how to read. And guess what? We learned how to read anyway. It was no hindrance of what we needed to do. Now, we not only survived, but we thrived in that environment. We did most inventions here in America in 150 years. How is it that 50 or 60 years ago, we were mathematicians, we were scientists, we were inventors. And now all of a sudden kids can't read, they can't write, they can't do simple math. We had no safe spaces and no excuses were accepted. When I was growing up, we had 40% of blacks owned businesses and 80% or more of the black families were God-centered mom and dads, okay? Two-parent household. Fast forward 50 years, we're now only have 7% of the businesses and only 25% of black families are two-parent households. So goes a family.
What's that percentage again, Ms. Ashley? What's that percentage again?
I said it's only about 25% are, two-parent household, 75% are single moms. When I was growing up, we had 80 or 90% pretty much two-parent household. Now, what we had also, we had strong families and we had an unwavering faith and commitment to God. Blacks were very well centered in their faith and their family. That's what created the society. That's how we were so strong. And we had dads and moms that were part of that. Fast forward 50 years. Let me tell you some of these stats we have now.
Yes, ma'am.
48% of our black boys, and I'm just dealing with California here, not even graduating high school. Okay. 89% of black boys don't even meet, and I deal with saying my boys because that's the group I deal with all the time. You're talking about 80 to 90% when they do graduate, they don't read the state reading, writing, or English or math requirements. Okay. A large percent of these kids that are doing that, guess who's going to end up on homeless, in jail, on welfare, or in the graveyard? If you can't read or write, do simple math, you can't take advantage of any of these opportunities. 60% of juvenile delinquents and 80% of adult prison inmates are illiterate. California students are twice as many as white kids to be put in these special education classes. We can't deal with you, so we're going to stick you over in the corner. That was unheard of back in the day when we were growing up, okay? Now, California is about, out of 50 states, out of economic or educational attainment, about 47th. How do you do this with your state you're in right now? Now, good thing you said something that earlier when you said the Jim Crow about a choice. Okay. Your mom had a choice. When I was growing up, we had no choices, okay? These kids now are stuck in these zip codes. Now, my thing is this, what I tell teachers. If what you were doing was working, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We having this conversation because it's not working. Schools here in California, they get about $20,000 per child to be educated. Parochial schools and private schools, they charge about $6,000. How do these kids in parochial schools or private schools get educated for $6,000? But $20,000, you can't educate one of our kids.
Teach.
They get stuck in these environments and these corner zip code. Now, I'd say it like this. If you live in a neighborhood, you had one restaurant. Now, across the street, you have 50 restaurants. Nice, you go any place. But you were required to go that one because you were in that neighborhood. That's what happened to our kids. You can't go anyplace else. We want to get an opportunity that we will take that money that is designated from the federal government, which is our tax money, $14,000 a year. The public schools can still take their $6,000. And if you want to stay there, you can. That $14,000 that from the federal government, that's going to go to an educational savings account for that child. That money is there for them from kindergarten over to grade 13 when they graduate. So if you say a parochial school, just give me a number, and you're paying $6,000 a year, okay? You got another $8,000 left over for 13 years. I think at the end of that time, you may have over $100,000 so saved up. Your parents that have been paying the $6,000, they can take that money and put it in their pocket. Guess what? Now they got immediate cash incentive to their home because they got this $14,000. At the end of that time frame, what you can do too, now you have money to pay for your college. You have money to go to a trade school, a vocational school, anywhere you want to go that is accredited with the state. You can also go to a military if you want to, go away for a couple of years. That money stays in your education account to you're 30 years old. These kids have to have an opportunity. In order to have an opportunity, you have to have a choice. And you have no choices, then you're stuck where you are right now. That's why you saw the homeless population is where it is, because you can't take advantage of any opportunities if you can't read, you can't write, and you be simple math. Our families have been decimated. And with this school choice thing, we want to bring that in line. That was done to Black people on purpose, as you know, back in the 1960s. There was no welfare when I was growing up. We got these welfare systems now. They took these women, put them in these welfare camps. But in order for you to get that welfare, ladies, the man had to leave the household.
Absolutely.
That's started the breakdown family unit, and we got to build that back up. The government replaced God, and we got to put God back in the center where he belongs.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Folks, y'all hearing that clearly what Ms. Ashley was telling y'all? You get them statistics and them numbers, you see the dire state that our peoples are in. But Ms. Ashley, I just want to say something to you, by the way. I was a military child too. I'm a military brat. The Army. My daddy fought in World War II in Korea, and I was in the military. My father all my life, and we lived on the military base as well. On the military base, we swam together. The only segregation was the officers.
That's right.
You remember that?
Right.
So we swam together in swimming pools. We went to the teen center. We were, and there was some tension between whites and blacks. Mm-hmm. That's kids, that happens. But we fight. Next day we make up and live our lives. Off the base, though,
right?
I had to go to way across down to a all black school, and my mama got tired of it. I mean, they tried to make us live in the Negro section of the community, right, just off base. And mama said, "No, I'm gonna stay right here." And so she had that. That's why I'm an activist. Because she had that attitude, I'm a buck the law, I'm a buck the system. It was against the law for us to go to a white school. Mama said, "Buck y'all." God said, "Take my son," and I did better. Let's go to. Thank you for the share, Ms. Anita. We have a lot in common, don't we, sister?
Yes, we do.
Us Army brats. God blessed us. We'll talk about that another time, won't we? Hey, Unicorn, you got your horn sharp, man?
Got my horns on.
Hey, homie, I'm the matador. Come on at it. Why you? Why you for the school choice?
Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it, unicorn style. Segregation today, segregate tomorrow, segregation forever. Why do you think Bull Connor had that in his mindset? It wasn't so much that young Black children will be saddled up next to young white children. It's because everybody understands one thing.
What's that?
Once your mind, once your power weapon has been unleashed, you are unstoppable.
Teach me.
Now, and thank you all. I learned so much whenever I come on to your show, Ted. I'm honored to be here on Urban Smart Network on Your Power Weapon. This is an awesome show. I love Miss Ashley. I love Miss Anita. Just so much acumen coming from them.
We're a team.
Brother Keith.
We're a team.
Hey, check this out. The Democrats have been co-opted. Let's agree on that.
Yep.
They've been co-opted by a socialist Marxist movement. I don't recognize them anymore. I don't even know if it's even fair to call them the Democrat Party. Well, this Leviathan, this thing that has taken over America, you think it would stop at the Democrat Party? Of course not. It's working its way through the Republican Party too. We call them rhinos. They're trying to transmogrify that party. But here is what's going on. We had a president, Barack Hussein Obama. This man got the best of the best of the best of the best. He went to private schools. He went to private colleges. He went to Harvard. And when he was president, we asked him if he would help us. Hey, I got to keep it real, right? We asked him if he would help us. Hey, you became the president because you're educated, because you're intelligent, you're bright. So can we get some of that too, please? Barack Hussein Obama denied the Black children of America the same education that Sasha and Malia got. Everybody in his family got private school education, but no, not us. So here's what I'm trying to say real quick. When we're born, we're no different than the best damn computer you can buy, still in the box. When you take it out the box and plug it in and get all your keyboards going on and whatnot, that computer has nothing on it, basically, Windows and all of that. But that's what I'm trying to say is it's an empty slate. It's up to you to take your disk and your programs and your apps that you want and place it inside the computer. Then it will do exactly what you need. Well, the Marxist socialists resented us being able to get properly educated. Education was founded for two essential reasons. One, so that a man could read the Bible for himself. And two, so that you would be an informed populace, so that you could best govern your own selves. Those are the two reasons education really existed in America or was founded in America. So if you were an insipid, wicked, evil, son of a gun, what you gonna do? You're gonna jump in front of that system, and instead of making sure the kids get doused down with good, clean water where they can come up and be educated, they know more about the 143 different sexual orientations than they do the periodic table.
You ought to quit.
They know more about, the pronouns of her, him, she, we, thee, they, it's, what the?
Get him,
they know more about that
Get him going.
than anything. So at the end of the day, they get their beautiful unions where they only work 8 months out of the year.
Yeah.
They got their dental, they got their health.
Yeah.
I saw a teacher wearing a pair of $1,000 boots, $1,000 boots. Okay. And what happens at the end of it? And we got to remember this. This is what kills us in the stretch of time. Whenever they want to make a political statement, didn't they take our children out of school and make them march down the streets? We want to do this right there in Los Angeles. We want to show the Republicans. We want to show everybody that we got the power. Kids, we're canceling school today. Get out there and march for us. We need to get out from underneath this system. It is tainted. It is poison. It is wicked. It has no ideation of God. It has no intention of making a well-informed American citizen anymore. It's counter to their program. So CaliforniaSchoolChoice.org, never have I believed in a program more than this one. And let me finish by saying, if Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X were alive today, I am very confident they would be pushing this program as hard as we are.
I doubt that. I doubt that part.
I can't wait for you to tell me why. I can't wait for you to tell me why.
But that's I'm listen, I'm with you. I'm with all of you and everything pretty much that you're saying. It's just that little piece that may tear the whole house down, like the scripture says. It's a little foxes that destroyed the whole grapevine. Anybody speak up, whoever. I'm put this question to you. What happened? If Mr. Ashley made a very good point, and I said this too many times, and I can back it up. That there was a time they say that when we were called Negro instead of black, we were much better off, and that is absolutely true. We had our own stuff. It may have been raggedy, but it was ours. You see, we had our own baseball leagues. We had our own basketball leagues. And I didn't believe this at one time, but I think that when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, so-called color barrier, I was a mistake. It was a mistake because had we listened to Booker T. Washington, who told us forget about trying to integrate with people that don't want you around, you develop your own enterprise. They will come to you. Then you negotiate with them on your terms. That's true economic power. But as Webb Du Bois was saying, no, we got to integrate with white folks in order to get that. And we did that, and look at where we are 58 years post the 1964 Civil Rights Act. So, Miss Ashley, and anybody wants to speak on this, what happened if we was all that?
We already kind of discussed that, what happened. But I have to disagree with one thing. I hear this all the time. The Democrat Party has changed. The Democrat Party has not changed. They've always been the same racist party they've ever been.
Absolutely correct.
They're the ones that voted against the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment.
Absolutely.
They're the ones that took away our reparations. When I hear
Absolutely.
Black people talk about that, guys, we had our 40 acres and a mule
Teach.
under Lincoln, okay? They took away that. They're the ones did the Jim Crow laws.
Jim Crow,
Point
KKK.
1 and point 2, they were the
That's right.
KKK. Black laws, everything you can think of was to destroy Black Americans. You better be glad there was a Gio Grando GOP party that was the anti-slavery party. Now, what happened is that Republicans did not leave Black people. Black people left Republicans. When the Democrats started giving you that little monetary thing you had and feeding you, you walked away from Republican Party. You turned your back on God and wonder where you are right now. Also, we bought into the abortion thing. We're only 38 million here in the United States. We should be 80 to 100 million. We have exterminated over 20 million of our babies. And but you cried right now, about 8,000 of these Black kids are killing each other every year. We're being exterminated. We got to have some way to stop this bleeding. Or in the next 25, 30 years, we're going to be in a museum. The people that built this country, everything people enjoy right now, you enjoy because a Black man or a Black woman put together for you. You go in and see the inventors. If it wasn't been for us, we'd still be using the bathroom outside. White people would. We had a lady that sent a man to space with a chalkboard and a piece of chalk, no computers. The human computers they have with NASA. That GPS system you enjoy, Black woman, almost everything you enjoy because we put together. First and foremost, we are Africans. It is in our DNA. But we had strong families and what we're trying to get back to. So I would like to hear Mr. Ted's asking us questions, some kind of way why you don't want to go to this, and what is your ideas about what's wrong with school choice. You're listening to all of us. When are we going to get to what you think about it and why you don't believe in school choice? And then from there, I want to hear your options or suggestions or what you can do to get us out of the situation we're in right now.
Man, my seat just got hot.
Now, you know you're talking to the wrong Black woman.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what, folks. That's one thing about Urban Smart Network. You know, it's in the true spirit of Americanism, Americana, and the Constitution, the First Amendment right, the freedom of thought, freedom of expression, etc., etc. And here on Urban Smart Network, you get that. And on your power weapon, you get that. You ain't got to agree with me. You should, but you don't have to. And I appreciate that. So let me answer that question with an observation. If we was all that in God's sight, what happened to us? Why did God, and y'all see up there, that's the chamber, the Speaker of the House seat there in Congress on Capitol Hill, and that sign up there says, like it says, all our money and all these buildings, and God we the people, and God we trust. Now, if we were so righteous, what happened? Why did God allow these terrible socialists and Marxists and these awful Democrats to prevail against us to this very day? You see, I see what's going on in this country is so-called patriots, so-called Republicans. Most of the people who call themselves Republicans, 98% of y'all, you're not knocking, you just don't know. You don't know what it means to be Republican. We talk about education, not only just education, but what kind of education? This Bible says, God said, my people, or people called by my name, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. What knowledge? Academia? No, a knowledge as to who he is. Same back here on earth, the United States. What knowledge will be going by in this country? We seem to run away as so-called conservatives, Republicans, patriots, instead of running to the fire of the school system, the now socialist-driven school system, and challenging that effort. We run away from it, leaving the vast majority of poor and black people still in the social system. How you gonna create something over here thinking you running from it when that thing you should have killed over here is eventually gonna catch you anyway? No, Martin Luther King, no, I don't believe it. Martin Luther King would have said what I said. Instead of busting people around out of the black neighborhood, why don't we bring better education right here in the public schools where we dwell? That's the fight we should be having.
That's what school choice is about. That's what schoolchoice.org is about. It's about empowering the parents, make the money,
but you're leaving the masses of us behind.
Wait. But make the money follow the children. We have to abolish this oligarchy, and it is an oligarchy, of school boards. I have gotten my fill of watching these robotic, dispassionate, mean-spirited board members at these schools as parents plead with them with tears in their eyes. Please teach my child. Don't let my child get raped.
You know what? If it wasn't for COVID, if it wasn't for COVID, thank God for COVID, and making a school at home, these conservatives and parents and all these now concerned people would not know this was going on. CRT was,
but happening. They know now.
Now they know. Same with black folks. They didn't care. They didn't care. They did not.
Let me say this.
Hold on, please. They did not care.
I gotta say something.
I know you do. I do too. They did not. All these conservatives, white conservatives, did not care about the system that was oppressing black folks for all these years. Respect,
and
now let me finish.
Let me respect, Ted, listen here. When the Exodus,
turn that microphone off.
I gotta say this. When the Exodus occurred, they were glad to get away from Pharaoh. They did not know where they were going. They didn't know what the heck was up with where they were going, but they knew where the hell they were getting away from. We got to get away from this system. It is bad. And I don't care what we're going to go and discover once we get away from here. But we got to grab our children quickly and most post-hastily and run the hell away from this system. I don't care about whatever else is going on. Get them children. Because, excuse me, watch this. We are the giants. They are the little people. When we grab them by the hand and take them into those schools, those children in their minds are going, this must be okay. My mama brought me here. So if you're teaching me about transgenderism and all of this, it must be okay.
I get
my mama brought me here, so global warming must be real because my mama brought me.
Let Anita speak.
Let's go to Anita. Anita, go ahead.
Ted.
Yes, ma'am.
I hear you consistently blaming someone else as though black people are children. I resent that because I'm an adult. I'm capable. Miss Ashley just laid it out systematically about how we got here, why we got here. Now, with respect, and not only did you're blaming other people, you're blaming God. In so many words, you said, if God was good, this wouldn't have happened to us.
No. I did not say, hold on. I got to stop you. Miss Nita.
Wait a minute. I know you didn't say those words, sir. I know you didn't say those words.
I did not say that, Miss Nita. Hey, audience, did y'all hear me say, if God was good? Y'all didn't hear me say that, did you?
You said, okay, why did God let us get here? That was your statement.
I say, read the Bible.
Okay, so my point is, though, sir.
Read the Bible. You talk about education. That's the problem. You got education, but what kind of education do you have?
Let me make my point. Because I think your premise is wrong.
Okay.
We deserve better.
Of course we do.
We deserve someone else to do it for us.
I agree.
Okay, wait a minute. We can do it ourselves. Now, with respect to where is God in all of this?
Yeah.
When Adam was created, a perfect man. He had volitional will. He and Eve made a choice. We are making choices. Yes, they were tempted by Satan. We were tempted by the Democrats, the white people, that kind
Wait
of
a minute. Now you blame the
I'm
Democrats. Wait a minute.
almost
You
finished,
blame the
sir.
Democrats. You
No,
make the Democrats the
listen,
devil.
it doesn't matter.
How you gonna do that?
Wait a minute, sir.
You told me that I'm blaming people. Now you turn right around and you blame the Democrats. And apparently you did
I
not
blame the
listen to
devil.
my video when I
No.
said it's time that both sides, liberals and conservatives, stop pointing the finger at each other.
But what
Did
I'm
you hear me
saying
say
to
that?
you, sir, what I'm saying to you, all we need as Black people, all we need are the tools. The tools is knowledge, just like you said.
What kind of knowledge, my sister? What kind of knowledge, Ms. Nita?
Mathematics, the ability to read. If we could read and do mathematics, we can comprehend practically anything. Okay,
Well, can I say
we
something to y'all real quick?
And Miss Ashley made the point about the ladies in Hidden Figures, the movies. We have great, powerful minds. For us, I think we're brainwashed to think we need somebody else to do all this for us.
Now you're blaming somebody. You're saying you've been
No,
brainwashed.
I'm not blaming anyone.
Yes, you just said.
Listen,
Listen, folks.
brainwashing happens.
Okay.
Brainwashing happens. There is an enemy.
Folks,
people.
one of the main reasons, that Dwight David Eisenhower, President of the United States in 1952, go look it up, put on his presidential platform, we need to deal and finish the business of civil rights. In 1954, Dwight David Eisenhower was one of the main advocates behind Thurgood Marshall and the movement to Brown versus Board of Education. And the reason that he was for that, because he understood that if the former slaves, the new Black citizens, got literate, they would look into the Constitution of the United States, and they would see themselves in the Civil Rights Act of 1866 and the 14th Amendment, and would thereby not only empower themselves into being the Americans that the founding fathers dreamed that we would one day become, but they would also save the Union, thereby keeping the Republic. I can ask you right now, all of you listening to me right now, can you tell me what the promissory note that Dr. King spoke about in his 1963 I Have a Dream speech? Can you tell me what the Civil Rights Act of 1866 is? Can you tell me what the 14th Amendment is? Most of you don't even know what the 13th Amendment is, let alone the 15th Amendment. Can you tell me about that? I would tell you something, folks. It's not a knock on you. 99% of you do not have a clue what that is. But that particular law is the most important piece of education that you need to get.
Ted.
Because if you don't have that education, you ain't gonna get nothing else.
Ted. And that, brother, sir, mentor, that is what we're here for. This is the absolute truth of what's going on. I can see Miss Anita's kind of warm over there. Let me just put it this way. That is what CaliforniaSchoolChoice.org is about. It's time to get out from underneath this system. Could you imagine if kids could hear Keith Hardeen explain the Constitution to them? Could you imagine a classroom, Ted, where you would be allowed an hour into the minds of young people? Could you imagine a school system where Miss Anita, Miss Ashley could speak to these young people and nourish their minds? So yes, you're right.
Listen, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. A
lot of Black people do not know the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, but brother, they're never going to know it if they stay in this here school system here.
I'm all for that here, not over there. But if y'all want to go over there, I say go over there. But I'm going to stay here to whoop this monster's ass. And I'm
gonna
get people like Miss Anita. I'm gonna get people like this and you into the school system where you can teach all children.
Ted, how soon can you make that happen? How can we build the infrastructure of a Black educational system immediately to transfer our children over there?
Well, the first thing you need.
You don't have even given that thought. You don't even have a plan.
2 generations, 3
generations. Sister, you don't know me like that. You don't know me like that. You need to go read my material. Hey, y'all, listen up. Y'all want to know more about this crazy man right here? I've been around for 37 years in this thing, okay? Let me tell you something. Go to an easy one. Go to tedhayes.us. That's an easy one. Or you can go to mattersofblacklives.com. Or you can go to the14th.com. US, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So now, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Anita. Well, Ken, I haven't heard from you. Come on, Ken. Why you for school choice? You got about 3 minutes, dude.
Well, I'm for school
And
choice.
by the way, y'all, Keith, hold on. And you know what, y'all, folks, viewers, would y'all like to see this conversation to continue next week? Because I would like to see it continue next
He
week.
said no.
Because yeah, I would love to continue this next week because I think it's a great opportunity for the viewers. Because some viewers are gonna say, I like that Ken guy. I like where he's come from.
I
I
don't
like
think
the
you
Keith
made
guy.
you
I like
haven't
the
made
Anita guy, the lady. I like Miss Ashley lady. That Ted Hayes I don't know about. But at least people can hear. Keith, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I don't think the ladies are really excited about continuing it, and I understand
I will
why.
continue.
Okay, well, I
Oh,
understand.
you're speaking for the women now, Keith.
Well, no, I'm not speaking for them.
Y'all tripping. Stop.
I'm not speaking for them. I'm just speaking of what I see or what I hear, going on in the conversation. I mean, they have laid the case down. I can't lay it down any more than what the women have done and what Ken has done. But the only thing I'm going to add to it is constitutional. Constitutionally, we have that right. Period. That's good enough for me. Constitutionally, we have the right to choose. And yet that right has been not taken away from us, but that right has been suppressed. And just like the Israelites were delivered from bondage to Pharaoh, God looked down and he saw their oppression, and God said, I'm going to deliver them. And he used Moses as the instrument. School choice is the instrument that God is using to get us out of the clutches of this tyrannical school system. And that's as simple as that. And we need to
it's time to go. It's time to go.
Good. I again, and I salute you in that effort. Y'all who are for school choice, y'all should just go ahead and keep doing that. But in the meantime, let me say something to y'all, especially y'all black citizens out there. You're black citizens. Can I finish? Well, let me finish my one point. And I'll shut up. What I want to say to y'all out there, all you who are fighting for black folks, all the different ministries for black people, homeless people, whatever. If you're a black citizen, you're not a civil rights activist. You may be an activist, but you're not a civil rights activist. You will not become a civil rights activist until you understand the Civil Rights Act, the first civil rights act in the history of this country, which is our citizenship in the 14th Amendment. You see, because what you're doing out there, y'all, in these ideological battles, and you're saying correct things, but it's like you're throwing spitballs and rocks and sticks at the evil ones, at the fortresses. What you need to do is have a weapon. And the number one weapon to take down those things you fear so much and are running away from, when you should be running towards, is the Civil Rights Act of 1866 and the 14th Amendment. Until you understand that, you're a danger on the battlefield and you're creating confusion and denying the power you say you want. Go ahead, Miss Anita.
I will take that counsel, Ted, and educate myself on that. I don't need to be a civil rights activist, but I am an activist. I'm a Christian activist.
Because that's what you are. That's what you are. But you're not a civil rights activist.
It's this country. This country was built on Christian values.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were blessed.
Yes, ma'am.
We were blessed. We flourished, became the world power because of the principles and the morals espoused in that book, whether you like it or not.
What do you mean, the United States or black people?
No, the United States.
No, the United States became powerful because they built on the back of Choctaw slaves.
Ted, you are the host, and you should not beat this rude, sir. You gotta let us finish the point. Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying to you, I read it. You were going to be the opponent to school choice. I'm not going to let you get off without answering why and how are you going to do it better than the opportunity we have. You must lay that out now clearly.
I'm going to lay it out to you right now. Here it is. Very plain and simple. First of all, before you can even come up with a system that's workable, you, particularly as a black citizen, need to understand your power weapon first. Once you get that in place, then God will show you how to build whatever school you want to build. Or for people like me to stay here and fight the system, you gotta have the weapon first.
No.
How you gonna enter battle?
No, let me say something. I gotta say something. All of us have some military exposure, okay? You guys are military brats. I'm the United States Air Force. There's all type of stuff going on. So here's the metaphor for you, Ted.
Okay.
If you were in an F-14 jet and it's been shot to hell,
Okay.
and it can no longer function,
Okay.
that plane is going to go, warning, warning, eject, eject.
Okay.
You're telling us we got to stay in an F-14 that's on its way to the ground. No,
Okay.
I'm pulling the ripcord and I'm getting the hell out that
Hey,
plane.
and I agree
this
with
plane
you.
is going
Hey,
down.
hey, folks,
it's time to save our children.
I agree with you, but American citizens, listen to me. Take that attitude. Absolutely. If you believe that the Union Republic of the United States is finished, it cannot be saved, then yes, hit the
I didn't say that, Ted. I didn't say that, Ted. I said the educational system is warped.
Let me finish.
Okay.
This is always has been, since this country has been, a fight to keep the Union alive, to prove the point of the founding fathers in this American experiment. You heard the justice say that the other day from the Supreme Court. This is an experiment. Now, if you believe the F-15 is cooked, yeah, hit the deck.
The educational
if you
F-15.
still believe that America is salvageable, don't get out that plane. Let's make it work. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, no, the plane. No, see, now watch this. You took that metaphor and stretched it out.
Oh, okay.
The America is what we're trying to save. We're losing a battle, but not the war. In order to stay alive and fight the war, you got to get out of this plane.
Okay.
This plane ain't working.
Okay,
if
and
the
that's good
pilot
for y'all.
lives to make it to the ground, we can build him another plane.
Yeah, but you know what? That's not the plane I'm in. See,
I know. I hear that now. I see that. You better eject, Ted. You better eject. I'm pulling the ripcord. You better come on.
You're going to take me anyway. Huh?
So,
I
know we're getting ready to end, but let me end with this so people know I'm a figures person also. In California here, there's about 36 million people here in California, okay? Out of that, we have about 16 million those are Hispanic or Mexican, about 14 million whites, only about 2 million blacks. In 50 years, this will happen to us. In the school system, there's 6.2 million students. Out of that 6.2 million students, only 300-some thousand are black, okay? We are such a small, minute power anymore. I can't worry about all those other people. I want to try to save the few we have left here by getting them educated. We knew when we got here, education was going to be the key to success. We can't turn that back. The reason why we're in this situation right now, because we turned our back on our families and we turned our back on God. Those are two things that made us powerful in this nation, how we grew. And we got to get that back, some semblance back. And it's going to start with education to help build family, parochial education, if that being, and other things too that families get involved in. But we got to get that energy back and families get involved back in the kids' lives. 25% can't stay that way of family single mom, where we have lost 70%, almost 7% of God-fearing two-family household. We got to start somewhere. It got to be here. And I still haven't heard anything from you as far as going to help that with all. We've given you suggestions. My thing too, want to stay with you. Didn't you sign the school choice petition?
I'll sign it. I did sign down. I was at the event that we was at. Didn't I say,
well, y'all, that's a couple of weeks ago. So what changed?
Listen, y'all not listening. Y'all not listening now.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. You signed. Wait a minute, Ted. You signed the petition.
Didn't I say if y'all wanna go and fight the school, put up a new system, charter schools, whatever, y'all gonna do that, but you are running from the monster. I'm gonna
take my signature. I'm with y'all in spirit, right?
No, I'm with you. I signed the document. My name is on there. Okay, that's real. Okay?
Why?
I want y'all to learn to do.
No. He asked you a question. Why did you sign it if you didn't believe in it?
Because you have a choice. If you want to choice,
exactly, you had a choice.
That's your freedom in America.
Exactly,
and I'll fight for that.
Same choice.
You know, it's if a Nazi wants to call me a nigger, I'll fight for that choice. If that's what he wants to do. Okay, all I'm saying is we are supposed to tear down that system, not run from it. Read the Declaration of Independence, y'all.
Are you a segregationist?
Yeah, let me ask you.
Are you a segregationist? Are you a separatist segregationist?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm hearing.
I'm messing with you.
Well, you might be, don't know it.
Unfortunately, we only have an hour. This is
Oh,
fantastic. I don't know about y'all. I'm enjoying this. It's one of the best shows ever. But look, if y'all want to come back next week, I would love to do that and continue to share, and you'll get a chance to hear some of the things that I believe that we can and should be doing, particularly through the Civil Rights Act of 1866 and the 14th Amendment. I want to thank Miss Ashley for being here again tonight. Thank you so much. I want to thank Anita Rhodes for being here tonight. Thank you so much, Ms. Rhodes. I want to thank the Unicorn, Ken White, for being here tonight. And I want to thank Keith Hardeen for being here tonight. And I want to thank the engineers of Urban Smart Network. I am so privileged. And I have wanted Black people to come on and talk about these things and especially challenge me on what I think. I'm loving this. So please, can we do this again, y'all? Is that good with y'all? And
part two.
if you know anybody else that want to come on, please bring them so I can whoop up on them. No. There you go, folks. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, if nothing else, we had fun this broadcast. God bless y'all. Don't forget, folks, next Monday night, we're going to have the crew back again. It'll be the 26th episode of Your Power Weapon on UrbanSmartNetwork.com.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you for having